Well, hello, my dear friends, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. They call me Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're hotly anticipating the first snow of the season, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Indeedy-doo. First snow has come and gone here, but there's more coming, I think. Tonight, though, it's not snow that's the topic. We're talking about 20 years of EarthCaching. Live audience. Do you know anybody that likes EarthCaches? Talk about it in the chat. We want to know what you have to think about EarthCaches. Of course, now we won't bring him in tonight. He wouldn't enjoy this show anyway. Let's just go on with it too.
Okay.
Well, okay, fine.
Oh, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah. I'll be nice and say that it's time to bring in our grounded gorilla. Some say that Gmail just logged me out and I can't read the notes. But I think he's like January day. He's 40 and chilly or something like that. And others say gloomy. He's willing to go to prison to defend the right to EarthCache. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Wow. Good memory, Wits End. Good memory, my friend.
I'm telling you, every Thursday night, Gmail logs me out.
Oh, you're usually on the schedule.
Yeah.
And just
exactly 1 week from the last time you were logged out.
Something like that. Yeah. So
just as a game, we log him out every now and again just to see how much he's read ahead.
Oh, the poor guy.
He does the entire thing out of his memory.
I got to say, also, the master of the cold read. So, I mean, the list of credentials just goes on and on.
Well, that's two anyway, and that's probably all of them are going to happen. So. Well, hey, look at that. I'm back in.
It's a good list. Hey, well, before we go on to talk about all the other great qualities of Wits End, let's take a moment to appreciate the great qualities of everyone who supports this podcast. That is all of you patrons. We thank you for your help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. We also thank our corporate Denali level sponsors. That's Landsharks, LANDSHARKZ.ca. They are our corporate Denali level sponsor. Check them out online and see what specials and sales they have going on. And don't forget to check their travel section of their website. We also want to thank our other corporate Denali level sponsor. That is Gold Country Geotourism. Visit exploregoldcountry.com. Learn more about the geotours, the region, and don't forget to download the app. I keep telling you.
I've done it. I've done as you have suggested. Strongly suggested, I might add. Repeatedly
at times.
No,
Anyhow, folks, if you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, head on over to the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
Next time we see you, we're just going to ask for your phone. Unlock it, hand it to us. We'll download everything you need, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You can trust us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean,
no
there's
problem.
Cases you can trust.
Yeah, oh boy.
Okay, two, and then me.
Keats is on it today. Hope everyone had a nice day. He spells it like Genie spells his name.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sneaky.
Yeah. Keats, he's very erratic.
Sometimes he's glacial.
I don't know. He's a pretty solid guy. All right.
Hey, folks, speaking of solid, it's time for the glow. Yeah, that wasn't a smooth transition, but it was a transition nonetheless. You may ask, what is a glow?
What is a glow?
Thank you. I didn't wait long enough last time, so I put on my patient ears and listened. That's the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, We want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call in to 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow.
Oh, it wouldn't be the theme of the night if we didn't have a glow from an Earth cache. Oh, thanks. GSM times 2 asked.
You guys are good to me.
Yeah, that's good. So this log comes from the 20-million-year-old Earth cache. That's GC Quebec Hotel Zulu Whiskey. It's my favorite kind of whiskey. It was logged by Jab and Jazz back in June of 21. And the log says, finally, we have reached our 20,000 milestone geocache. We've been looking forward to reaching this milestone for the last year. As we got closer to this milestone, we started to look for an appropriate geocache and spotted your 20-million-year-old Earth cache. We thought this would be perfect. 20,000, 20 million, good match. We made sure the tide would be far enough out to allow safe travel along the beach and really enjoyed the walk from the parking spot. The fossils were amazing. We took lots of pictures and managed to get a bit of cool drone video too. Thanks for the great Earth cache here. So, Jab and Jazz gave 20-million-year-old Earth cache a favorite point.
They should have given it 20 million favorite points.
At least 20,
Yeah.
you know.
That's awesome.
Do them a solid.
I don't think I've actually made it to that Earth cache.
Whoa. Stop the show right here.
Yeah.
What?
I know, and it's even from one of my friends, but I think it's just in a location we just have not happened to get to. But now I'm going to look it up because now I'm curious.
You should have no problem because, as we know, Earth caches are easy. That's at least what I've heard anyway.
They can be. And no, I just looked it up. I have not done that Earth cache yet.
Oh, okay.
But I look forward to doing it because it is in a very cool place. As you noted, placed by our corporate Denali level sponsors, the Land Sharks. Kind of cool side story here before we get into tonight's content. Oh, there you go.
Kitty Quest has done it, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Land Sharks, the co-owner of that Earth cache, he and I co-created a fossil Earth cache on northern Vancouver Island. So that's kind of fun.
Did you co-create the Earth cache or the fossil?
Both.
Okay.
Took a while.
Yeah.
But, things were a little hot and there was a lot of pressure. So
Playing the long game, are you?
Yeah. Yes.
How long ago did you create those fossils?
About 20 million years ago.
Okay. Yeah, you got 20 million reasons to go find it now, says GSM.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Folks, if you want to join in the chat tonight, and boy, do we appreciate when you do, right? There's already a whole, threads is what I want to say, of conversation in the chat. So thank you much. You can use the hashtag Earth. We're keeping it simple tonight. We thought 5 letters would be enough. Earth cache, that's 10 letters. That can be hard to type. Earth tonight, hashtag Earth. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS. That's only 4 letters. It gets easier the longer we go on.
That's right.
If you want, use the hashtag FATAS to bring up something in the after show. And a little bit of news. Are you ready? While you're out looking for Earth caches, perhaps you want to travel a bit. You can discover Roseburg. That's in Oregon, in case you wanted to know. They are having a geocaching kickoff event February 3rd. Now, that's just right around the corner, if you ask me. Roseburg's next geocaching series launches Saturday, February 3rd. Discover Roseburg 13. They've been doing this for a while. I've gone to several of them. They're very well done. Roseburg is a beautiful little town. The Land of Umpqua geocache series kicks off. It's a free, family-friendly, fast, fabulous, fantastic event. I just said,
I feel like you're getting at something.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Designed to draw people of all ages outside and experience more of the city, and its businesses. That's the real reason there, folks. Go support this city. The kickoff is at 9 a.m. at Stewart Park Pavilion. Parks and Rec staff will give out verbal instructions like don't drive through red lights, right? Don't hit anyone.
Stay.
Good boy. Good boy.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
And they may pass out dog treats as well, and coordinate containing passports for the high-tech geocaching treasure hunt, as some would say. The event's expected to last till about 2 p.m. There's 20 of them to find. You can get there pretty quickly. Parks and Rec's program director, Tracy David, said even though the event draws a large group of visitors from outside the area, it's an opportunity for locals to discover the community in a fun and unique way. People who find all 20 geocaches can redeem their passport for a limited edition collector coin. Now, there's only 200 of these coins. And the Geocache Challenge will continue until all the geocoins have been awarded. So, for more information, check out the Park and Rec's Facebook page. That's at facebook.com/Roseburg Parks.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a nice town. It's a doable thing to get all 20. Chris and I went down a few years back and did it. It was great. It's fun.
Yeah.
They host a nice event there.
It's a longer drive from here in Tacoma, but we did it and, went out in the morning, hit it, came back all in one day. So
yeah,
it's an even longer drive from British Columbia.
A little bit. Yeah.
And from the Tri-Cities as well.
But it is on Groundhog Day.
Oh,
well, it's the day after Groundhog Day,
which is just like Groundhog Day, and the day after that, and the day after that.
Yeah.
It's all the same day.
Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome. GSM times 2 is the coin trackable at geocaching.com. I would assume,
but of course it is. I cut that part out because it said something like it has a unique tracking number that you can track online to then, and like, yeah, we all know what a geocoin is.
There you go. But, sometimes there's awards at these kinds of community or community-driven geocaching events where they're not trackable because maybe they don't know who to do that, or they're cutting corners, or
this is their 13th year. They know.
These guys know what they're doing.
They know.
Yeah.
Here you go. You can get the limited edition collector's geocoin or metal token with a trackable ID number.
I got your metal token. All right.
See, cool. These are some of the things I leave out because, well, we understand what a geocoin is. This came from KQEN. Is
that a radio station?
Quen? I don't know how you'd pronounce that. News Radio. 1240.
Okay, it is a radio station. I was being cheeky. I thought that was somebody's caching name, but no, it's a radio station. Okay.
No, it's a radio station. So they have to describe it for the general public.
Right.
I edit those down for you
so
guys. Now, as much as I've talked about it, I have saved zero time by editing it down. But nonetheless, here we go.
Yeah, but it's been fun. It's been interactive now.
Right.
There you go.
You want me to tell you more about this high-tech treasure hunt?
I don't understand the high tech part. I understand treasure hunt. I'm confused by the high tech part. Can you explain this to me?
Well, they want you to bring a smartphone. Let's see. Participants need to bring a smartphone or other device equipped with a global positioning system or satellite-based radio navigation system.
There you go.
Using a GPS to follow the coordinates printed on the passports, participants will hunt for 5 real-world geocaches hidden around the town, plus 15 virtual geocaches at special locations. They will navigate to all the spots, fill out their passports along the way.
I doubt it's virtuals, as in what we would normally think. So are they Adventure Lab stops?
I would assume.
That would be my guess, yeah.
Or they could be, something that the Park and Recs have put together and, go to this plaque.
Officially on Geocache.
Give me the 5th word and off we go. And it's not, you just have to fill out your passport. It's not an official find. I don't know.
Yeah. When we did it, they were official geocaches.
Right.
And I believe they were all physicals.
Hold on. There was something else.
I probably got about 20 finds in the city of Roseburg area.
Many people have joined the Discover Roseburg geocaching series for years. So David has been challenged to find new hiding places, especially for the real world caches.
Well, that's when you archive some of the old ones.
Yeah. It can be challenging, if you're doing this year after year after year.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a geocoin or two left. You want to keep those out there so people can come and find them, have fun, and experience. We're going to try to get the city of Roseburg on to talk.
Cool. And let's do that.
That'd be fun.
And have them
see if we can do it before Feb 2. We'll try. We'll do our best, folks. All right. And hey, on that note, speaking of doing our best to get people on the podcast, special shout out and thanks to GSM times 2, who, after my moaning and whining last episode, has been able to help us get in contact with the organizers for Geo Woodstock 20. So thank you, GSM times 2.
And
back.
We'll give a shout out to the organizers of Geo Woodstock 20. They're really busy people. They saw our request. It just, fell off the side of the page because there's so much going on.
Yep, it happens.
Yep.
All right. So
any other story that I can, edit down to something that's quick and easy, and then we'll take 20 minutes to talk about it?
How are your socks doing, Chris?
How am I what?
How are your socks?
Today I'm wearing wool socks, which I find quite comfortable. In fact, I have them on right now in case you wanted to know.
I was curious. That's why I asked. Yeah.
Not every day do I wear wool socks, but I expected today to be cold.
Yeah.
And in the office I went into, I think they had it cranked up to like 80 degrees. I was dying today.
Yeah. GSM times 2 is curious what a glow is while we're...
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Where are we in the show notes? Now I'm confused.
Groundhog Day all over again here.
Exactly.
It is a Groundhog Day.
Yeah, you shorten news stories kind of like the way my friend shortened his 4-year college degree into 5.5 years. But
normally I try to keep the news relatively short. I mean, they've got a lot of fluff in there of, to reach a general public, right? I have no problem with that. I completely understand. Usually I take it all out, condense it down to 3 or 4 lines and go on, but you guys wouldn't let me get away with that.
I was going to say, Chris, you did a great job. We just were having fun talking. So I think we just wanted to keep talking.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to earth caches, Roseburg may have been doing this for 13 years, but earth caches, they've been around for 20. And we can compress earth caches down to about 3 minutes and sign off for the night. maybe not. Yeah. But we are talking about earth caches tonight. And believe it or not, was it today the anniversary? The first earth cache was placed this week. 20 years ago this week. I was like in junior high school.
Yep, exactly.
And didn't even know what earth caching was. Maybe.
And I was just about taking my first steps 20 years ago.
Yeah. So if you would like to talk about them, as Chris mentioned, use the hashtag Earth to let us know your thoughts on the topics that we explore tonight. And as we have mentioned, I have heard earth caches are easy.
Indeed, they can be, but I think we'll talk about that as well, because they aren't always, and that's one of the challenges people have. But before we get into that, let's first recap how this all got started. So if we put ourselves into the Wayback Machine and fire it up. Hold on a minute. I'm just gonna. I think the keys are down here. There we go.
Oh, I see you're using fossil fuels for the Wayback Machine.
As one does for earth caches. All right.
Remember to double clutch it.
So I forgot to double clutch it, so I stalled it out a little bit there.
Yeah,
but we got ourselves to 2003, which is really where we were hoping to get to. And we found ourselves at the Geological Society of America conference, where the idea was germinated and subsequently grew into conversations between Groundspeak, geocaching.com folks, and the Geological Society of America, henceforth known as the GSA, and the U.S. National Park Service, as well as some other land management agencies. So this was an idea that was actually proposed by the GSA. They pulled some key folks together to have these discussions, and the outcome eventually was a set of guidelines established and defined by the GSA for a kind of geocache hide that had minimal impact on the environment, fit well within the game of geocaching, and had educational outcomes. So if you think about those three things, each of those three things represents the key players here in the idea of earth caching. So the idea of educational outcomes is the driving reason for earth caches from the GSA. It is an educational tool for the GSA. Minimal impact on the environment is the driving force from the U.S. National Park Service and the other land management groups, because they were getting concerned about the proliferation, that's a hard word, of geocaches in their lands. And at one point had even just said, banned, no geocaches, forget it. So this was a compromise that would work well. And interestingly, geocaching.com, and we learned this the last time Rock Chalk was on the podcast, and I found this a fascinating fact of the show from that episode, is that earth caches are hosted by geocaching.com, but the whole concept and the management and the vision and structure of the whole earth cache program is actually owned and supported by the GSA. So it is a GSA initiative hosted by geocaching.com that results in our ability to get little smiley faces for finding earth caches. So I found that just an absolutely fascinating history of how it all originated and the key players who were involved in that. Hopefully everybody else finds that somewhat interesting. Okay, good.
I do. I put my hand up. I find that interesting.
Awesome. So the outcome of that, of course, is earth caches, which we now see. Anybody know what the first one was?
GCEC1. No?
That was a darn good guess. It really should be. GC code of the first one is GC Hotel Foxtrot Tango 2. Interesting. There's two dances in that one. I'm not even dancing around that topic. So it's named Earth Cache 1. It is in Murramarang National Park, which just feels, again, like a song, at a sandstone formation known as the Wasp Head Peninsula. Has currently 129 favorite points.
Mm-mm.
And it takes you for a tour of 6 different locations in Wasp Head, learning about the different types of fossils and the rock formations. So that is the very first Earth Cache. Oh, and I forgot, placed on January 10th. So yesterday is the anniversary of the very first Earth Cache being placed.
20 years ago yesterday. Something like that.
GeoAware told the band to play. Yeah.
Told the people to play.
Yeah, exactly. And
Nice.
now I introduce to you.
That was in New South Wales,
Yes.
which is down under.
Australia.
So all of earth caches are upside down, is what we just found out.
Yep.
Earth caching is upside down.
We also refer to that as north, south, west. No east.
No east.
Yeah. Real no Easter there.
Gotcha. Now, it's been 20 years since the first Earth Cache was published. 20 years in a day. As of the recording of this podcast, who knows when you listen to this?
Yeah.
It's been 20 million years ago by the time you listen to this podcast. And if it is, let us know.
We'd be really curious. Yeah.
But since then, a multiple of 20, there have been over 40,000 Earth Cache published around the world.
What?
and more are being published nearly every day. Can you believe it?
I gotta believe it. It's written there in the show notes, so it must be true.
Oh, okay. This is interesting from GSM times 2. He says there's a second one, 212 feet northeast. So there is east there in New South Wales.
Okay. In the northeast, yeah.
Placed in 2017. And I say that's just disrespectful, right? It's the first one. You got to give it some space.
Well,
are they both still active? Was the first one archived, and this one was
the first
placed
one
nearby?
Active, but
okay.
The proximity rules don't apply in the same way to Earth caches, just like with virtual caches. But we can talk later when we talk about finding Earth caches and placing Earth caches about proximity. But you can have Earth caches within 500 feet of each other, within 162 meters of each other.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. 40,000 around the world.
40,000. And you found at least half of those, I think.
I think you found them all. Yeah,
I found a bunch, but it was interesting. We're going to talk a little later about some of the top 10 Earth caches in the world and such. And I believe I have found 4 of the top 10 in the world, which is pretty cool.
Way to go!
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I took a peek at my numbers while I had the time. I have found. Any guesses how many Earth caches I have to my credit?
100.
Oh, that's a good guess.
I'm going to go double.
You're going to go double digits, or you cut out there a second?
Oh, double digits, like 12.
Double digits. Wow. Did you look it up? Because that's exactly right. I found 12.
Oh, no. They just can't.
So it's easier for me to answer this question, but I'm going to throw it to Land Monkey first. Of all the Earth caches that you have found, is there one that sticks out as your absolute favorite?
Boy, I have found a lot. And that's in part because I enjoy them so much and they take you to such amazing places. But I would say there is a location that is my favorite location for Earth caches, where there's a number of Earth caches in that region, and that's Iceland. You're right. I have found Earth caches in a lot of different places in the world, but Iceland really sticks out in my mind. I know Dora Moore will rave about Iceland Earth caches as well. But you can travel from breathtaking waterfalls to where you can literally stand in the gap slowly being formed between the European and mid-Atlantic tectonic plates. There's geysers. There's a plentitude of amazing geologically active locations to visit for Earth caches in Iceland. It's and we're definitely going back again someday. Just there's a lot of other places I want to get to first, but that is that's tops for me. It would be Iceland.
I was looking at flights and how long can you lay over in a city, right? 24 hours is the maximum, unless it's Reykjavik. They specialize in multi-day layovers. So you can fly from the US to Europe, spend a couple of days there on Iceland and then fly off again. So I just in case you wanted to know, in case you were planning any European vacation, unlike the Chevy Chase version, you could do a multi-day stopover in Reykjavik.
You could. And it's so worthwhile. It's pricey. I think the thing to know about Iceland is it's not cheap, but it's amazing.
Okay, so the Earth cache that I remember the best, and this is because I'm old, is the Earth cache I didn't find today. Because my work took me to Pioneer Square in Seattle, and there is an Earth cache there. And I looked and I go, well, you know what? I've got to walk between offices. Maybe I could. So I get outside. It had been beautiful all day, cold, but sunny. And I get outside and immediately I walk out and I was like, somebody just throw something at me? What was that? Was that a bird? What? No, I was in the middle of grapple. Basically, heavy snow, light hail. And I thought, now's not the time to start looking for an earth cache. So I decided I'm just going to walk on. But I had contemplated it. It's like, you know what? It's not that complicated. And as I do more earth caches, I find they are less and less complicated in answering the questions, right? I still admit, I'm going to admit that there is, there's some trepidation about doing an earth cache. Am I going to get it right? What if I go, and spend half an hour and the earth cache owner goes, nope, I don't like your answers. Delete. Like, well, I don't want to spend time and, not get the right answer. It's just this, I want to get an A on the test.
Yeah.
So, there is that trepidation of, I don't know if I'm going to get it right. But as I dive into them, you look at the questions, and usually in the text above, it's going to give you all the answers of, do you think this is a, A or B type of scenario for, what you're looking at, right? Yeah. Is this rock field? I can't come up with any good examples. I can't come up with one on the top of my head. I started this conversation in this way, and now I'm stuck. Okay. So, but most of the ones I've done, the description is on the top of the page. The answers are on the bottom of the page. And if you read through the whole thing, you can get to where you're going and find out, oh yeah, this is this. And because I see X, Y, and Z, I think it's this. And I come out of those and going, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Good. Well, and that's the ideal, is that, that you do enjoy it and that you learn a little bit, ideally, because that's the GSA's motivation here of having earth caches exist in the first place, is that people learn something of earth science.
Right.
And at least the intent is that earth caches are supposed to, they don't all, just like every other geocache placed, but they're intended to be an introduction, an entry-level educational tool to help you learn some specific earth science lesson. There's so many things that people can and do to make earth caches intimidating and challenging, difficult. It's like any other geocache, right? Like, people can play the game of I made it really hard, or they can do I placed a geocache because I want people to find it, right? So there you go. Like anything.
Dora Moore says, I wish the question, estimate the height of that mountain over there, would be banned from Earth. Now, I admit, in my Earth cache, I have estimate the prominence. So the overall height of the mountain, and the prominence is where the other mountains, stop, and this one shoots up.
Okay.
You can look at that and go, it's about 1/3 to 2/3, right? And I know the height, simple math.
So what you're doing there, the value there is, there's a simple lesson. I would assume, I've done your earth cache, that one that you're talking about. I just can't remember. It was a long time ago. That's the one up by Rainier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is, if I recall correctly, what you're doing is you explain what prominence is, and then you get people to do a little interactive thing while they're standing there and estimate what the prominence is. Like, to Dora Moore's, estimate the height of that mountain over there. I mean, in a way, you're kind of doing that, but you're actually educating people on a concept, an earth caching, an earth science concept of prominence, and then you explain what it is. So it's a well done earth cache, Chris. You explain what it is that people are supposed to learn. You give a practical example. You ask a question that, in a way, the question is intended to prove that people were there, but it's not really the point.
No, it's not the point of it. It's to prove. That's why we look at Mount Rainier and go, wow, look at that mountain. right? Because it's so incredibly prominent based on everything around it. It just shoots up.
Yeah, it's
and
about twice the height of its surrounding range.
Right. And you look at it and you go, wow, that's gorgeous because it stands alone.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, good
So,
point.
and that's what I was trying to teach there.
And I think you did a good job.
No, the cheese stands alone.
The cheese stands alone. I haven't heard that for a while.
And
I heard it,
the answer, the height on the plaque and Wikipedia are different.
Ooh.
So I know when somebody's gone to Wikipedia and tried to answer. Like, no, take a look at the plaque again. Just tell me what the height there is right there on
the photo you took when you were there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And while you're at it, go update Wikipedia.
No, don't update Wikipedia. Then I wouldn't know.
So is that your favorite Earth cache, the one that you hid?
No, the one I didn't do today was
okay.
No, there have been several Earth caches that stand out to me. Land Monkey, we did one in Portland with fossils in the stone. What do you call it? The stonework of buildings.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting.
It's what you'd call an urban Earth cache.
Yeah. Multi-point.
Yeah, that one was well done.
Mm-hmm.
I've done quite a number of urban Earth caches. Sometimes they're just a single building and it talks about the stone used in that building. But that one, what was neat is that they were explaining I think it was like 7 different buildings you stopped at when we did that and looked discreet, swinging your umbrella about, as one does in Portland.
Nonchalantly.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Oh, I love our inside jokes. All right. But what was cool is that through the lesson that they had, the ancient walls, that's the one. Thank you, Heather. That is the one in downtown Portland. Yep. What's nice about that one is that it takes you to different stone, but it also explains to you where in Oregon or surrounding areas the stone came from.
Right.
That was, I think, kind of cool. So then you get a sense of, wow, so those mountains over there are made of this kind of stone that was then used for this building. It's neat.
This one came from Bob's Granite Store, and this one came from Home Depot. And, no.
In case you want to know, there's a second one now, Ancient Walls 2.
Oh.
It's twice as good as the first one. You probably have to go to 14 different buildings. I remember the artesian well in Olympia I did with Wits End.
I remember that one.
That was a good one.
I remember one that O'Joy hid at Mount St. Helens Visitor Center, which, I looked it up. It's GCPRH2. If you try to do that one nowadays, it's called the Big Bang. You have to hike in there because the road is still washed out to get into the Johnson Ridge Visitor Center.
Oh, wow.
It's like 4.5 mile hike, I think she said.
When did that wash out?
Quite a while ago. Let's see.
2020?
May 24th of 23, according to somebody's logs. Yeah, it was just last year. And Joy says she's checking to see if it reopens. But currently it's a 4.6 mile hike on the Hummocks Trail.
It's a decent hike.
Yeah. Yeah, considering there's really nothing else there. Even when you road is open and you can drive there, you have to plan a long time to drive in to that visitor center because you got to turn around and drive all the way back out. It's not, we'll go there and then, go on somewhere else. It's at the end of a long highway. So,
very cool.
But it's a great place to go visit. But that was memorable. But I had to pick my favorite is, and it's got 2 Z's in the GCZ C5Z. And it's called La Bufadora, which is at, La Bufadora, otherwise translated as the blowhole. That's in Mexico. It's one of, I can't remember if I have more than one Mexico find or not, but I chaperoned several high school trips down there, and we always went to La Bufadora, and one of the trips down there, I grabbed an Earth cache. And so it's fun. One of my few international finds.
That sounds awesome. I love things like that by the ocean where there's interesting geology that is actively interactive at the time when you're visiting. That would be really cool. My goodness, that is going crazy tonight. You guys have lots of opinions and thoughts and ideas about Earth caches. Very cool.
It seems that GSM times 2 and I think somewhat alike.
Okay.
Yeah. He likes this one. That is GC7 CZQM. The format is information question, then information question, information question. It makes it easier to observe and answer. Right.
Yeah.
Which, much like I was saying, you've got all the information that you're reading ahead of time, so you know what you're looking for, and then they ask a question about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then a note on. Go ahead.
Done that way, so that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Gia. Sometimes too. Sorry,
Yeah. I was going to say another note on that Big Bang Theory by O'Joy at Mount St. Helens. She notes that there's little to no cell phone reception there. So when you have to know what these questions are, make sure you make a note of them before you travel all the way out there, especially if you're doing the 4.6 mile hike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Open up the phone. Nope, no signal.
Nope, not going to help now.
Let me just take a picture of everything and hope I get it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else in the chat? We have Kitty Quest. This says, my least favorite earth caches are those in which the questions are so vague that it sometimes seems as if the CO doesn't truly understand the concepts or processes they're talking about.
Oh, touche. Yeah, that happens. That happens for sure.
I mean, there are times where I go and I give more explanation than I think what they're asking for. Well, I think it's doing this because of, and I often get back, wow, that was really good.
Yeah.
Or, it comes back to say, yeah, but what I was asking was this.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I think that, and good. Thankfully, this is rare. Most are great. Thanks, Kitty West. There's so much, that could be said about guidelines and advice for making good earth caches. But I think at the end of the day, it's, don't let your, what do they say? Don't let your reach, don't overreach your grasp. What's the expression? I guess what I'm trying to say is, make sure you understand what you're trying to communicate.
Yeah.
And that may require some research.
They usually tell me at the end of the day, don't let the door hit you on the rear end.
Don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you.
I think that's a different expression.
Okay. I thought they were concerned of my overall health.
Well, they are.
Yeah. And their mental health that I now leave the building.
I've been told I make a better door than a window.
White Coaster says, Guernsey has some complicated earth caches put out by a science teacher.
Interesting. Yeah. Complicated. I guess complicated is a relative term.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting if White Coaster throws a GC code or two in the chat at some point to go and take a look at later. But just to see, what his definition of complicated is, and that is by no means implying anything about Wet Coaster. I'm just curious where his threshold might be, because I think everybody has a slightly different threshold. Sometimes complicated means multiple waypoints. Sometimes it means confusing information, or the lesson is not presented in a readily digestible manner. I think probably most often that's the case.
Nice. Here, Len Monkey, you talk about this one.
Our friend Just Carlo from up here in Burnaby, he says, one of the most memorable earth caches I found was GC9 Tango Kilo Romeo 8 Salome's Well near Fredericton. Yes, I also found that one, probably very close to the time he found it. It's a watering hole of historic importance to the Black community in New Brunswick. And he logged it as his GC fave. Awesome. So I guess that would be a fave for him for sure. That's very cool.
Love it. We're going to get into a lot of we'll talk about a lot of these that are popping up. One thing I want to point out, talking about science teachers and such, there is a geology professor on YouTube, Nick Zentner. I don't know how you Zentner. Zentner. There it is. There I got it. Zentner. He is a geology professor at Central Washington University in Ellensburg. His videos are incredibly detailed and entertaining, right? It's one of the few geology lessons that I enjoy watching. So get out there and you can listen to him if you've got some questions. Maybe it'll give you an idea for an earth cache that you can put out. I'm just saying. Okay. On with the show.
On with the show. All right. Hey, Wet Coaster did exactly what I asked. So he popped up an example. And I see what his point is with this one. So there you go. Yeah. GC9 X-ray Bravo 31 is the example he's giving. And one of the things that the GeoAwares really strongly encourage is one lesson per earth cache. So try and educate people about a single thing. Don't try and cram a whole bunch of things into one earth cache. And reading through this one, it feels like there's a couple of different things they're trying to educate you about and explain in this particular one. And so it makes it tough, right? Like not everybody is earth science savvy. Some people, like Mrs. Monkey, loves coming with me to do earth caches. She does not like reading through them and answering the questions, but she likes going there and helping me with the observations. She always finds it interesting. But yeah, when it comes to what she calls the school part of it, it's like, nah. but yeah, this one, I think it's a fair point from Wet Coaster. There's a lot to take in here between two waypoints. In theory, there's two questions, but there's not. There's actually 8 questions with this one. So possibly even more depending on how you break them down. So there's quite a bit involved in this one.
Monkey Cake says GC1 Romeo Charlie Hotel is a great one to do with kids, taking temperature measurements in a series of springs at Longmire. The ranger station has thermometers that you can borrow to make your readings.
I loved that one. That was so fun.
There you go. I mean, things like that is, I enjoy that kind of interaction rather than just observing. Now, don't get me wrong. Earth caches take you to some beautiful places or some very unusual places. But the interaction is unique. It's different. So thus it's, more memorable.
Absolutely.
Got a lot of comments about Nick. Nick is awesome. By the way, he doesn't geocache. Komakino's asked him.
Okay.
J-Car says 100 plus 100. Nick is awesome. He's done some awesome videos on the Lake Missoula flood.
Yeah, Chris, you put me on to him. I wasn't aware of him until you had mentioned him before. And yeah, great YouTube channel to follow.
Maybe we should get him to come on the show. Let's see if he'll do it.
Let's see if he'll do it. It sounds like fun.
Why not? Just talk about the unique geology of the Northwest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some more now. Subway Mark says, my first earth cache was at, most people will say Willamette. It's Willamette Falls in Oregon City in 2007. My last earth cache was in Philadelphia along the Delaware River. Oh, maybe Delaware.
Delaware.
Very cool.
Go ahead, Whitson.
Oh, he says there's also railroad-related earth caches. Go figure, Subway Mark, railroad-related.
Sorry about this word.
Yeah, there's one in Tehachapi Loop in California and the Depot in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
You just rolled through Tehachapi. There's no way I would have got that on the first
I looked at that and I go, you read this. Oh, wait, I threw a hard word at him.
Oh, I thought you struggled with Cheyenne, maybe. But,
yeah.
I would have struggled with Depot.
I've lived in California. Tehachapi, no big deal.
The is the word I was going to struggle with.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for.
I was just loopy.
Fun.
Oh, there you go. Having Nick on the show would be great. He says that Washington State is the Disneyland of geology.
Well, Washington and British Columbia, absolutely. The variety of earth cache types that we have available to us. We're just so lucky to live in this area. Absolutely. Kitty Quest has one here. She says there's an earth cache in Sackville, New Brunswick, where you have to measure the salinity of a body of water. So you need to plan ahead and have the right supplies or method to do that. I believe I am familiar with which one she's talking about, and I had to pass on it because I did not have the right materials with me when I was in the region.
What do you have to have for that? Are there test strips?
Salinity Dion.
Oh.
Oh.
And
no.
the stream will go on?
Yes.
Yeah. This one will.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dormore's following what's going on in Iceland. A second eruption is expected in the, well, I know how to say Reykjavik. I don't know how to say much other
Reykjanes.
Peninsula. I started following a geologist named Sean Wilsey on YouTube. Learned a lot about volcanoes.
Very cool.
I'm glad I got to Hatchet and stuff.
I bet she lavas it.
Very funny.
You're welcome. That's all I got.
Did we cover the stuff that
did we did that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did as well. Flipping over here, just looking in the starred to see if we got all of those ones.
I don't think we've hit all of them. Dormore has found an earth cache in the Valley of Hell, GC2604 Alpha.
I don't think I really want to go there.
That's pretty cool. I have to look that one up. That sounds fun.
It's probably warm.
Probably.
And she has found 223 earth caches, but only on 117 unique days of the year. But she's not bitter, Land Monkey.
Okay. So context. Mrs. Land Monkey and I have placed a challenge cache on some trails nearby here where you need, I think it's 140 unique days that you have found an earth cache on. So you have to have found at least 140 earth caches, but they need to be on 140 different days, which is, it's a challenge, which, that's why it's
That's the whole challenge thing.
Yeah, I'm on pace to reach that in another, 100 years or so.
Oh, Keith says one of my favorite earth caches just so happens to be by Lanmonke.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that name.
No. The Wall of Earth Cache Fame at Upuk.
The University of British Columbia.
Oh, okay. Did it years ago, but I remember it fondly.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Keats. It was one of the first earth caches I ever put out, so I certainly have learned a lot about placing earth caches since then. But I'm glad people enjoy it. It's a really neat location. It's one of those urban earth caches, but a little different than most of the ones that you would necessarily find. So yeah, pretty cool. Thank you, Keats.
Heather found 4 at the Canada side of Niagara Falls, 3 in Washington, D.C., and 3 in Jerusalem.
Awesome.
Wow, that's cool.
That's a serious trip. I mean, I want to see your driving record for that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jerusalem, Israel. That's well, the whole that historical Middle East area is of interest for sure.
Yeah.
Well, once again, our listeners in the chat have given us a fantastic show. We do have the top 10 most favorited earth caches in the world, and maybe we should go through them quickly.
Sure.
Just to give people some context of what to go for. The Cologne Cathedral, I'm assuming in Germany.
Yep.
It's number
Geyser,
one.
a powerful hot spring in Iceland. Klof in Germany. Gullfoss in Iceland. Two Oceans in Denmark. Help me with the next one, Wits End. You're the German. That's
I would say Fulda Van Hall,
thank you.
Rheinfall in Switzerland.
Go ahead. You do the next ones.
Table Rock Earth Cache in Ontario, Canada. Pebberholm, I guess, Drogden Shelf in Denmark. Old Faithful Geyser in Yellowstone National Park. That's the one location on this list I've been to. And the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland.
There you go.
All places I would like to go.
And while you're there, find an Earth cache.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. So that's our top 10 list. Just for context, the most favorited of the top 10 has over 1,600 favorite points, and number 10 comes in at just over 1,000 favorite points. So that's a lot of visits and a lot of favorites given to that. And what's neat is that on that top 10 list, there's quite a variety of types of Earth caches there. It's not like they're not all the same. There's a couple in there that are definitely, well, at least one for sure that's an urban Earth cache, and that's number one. But yeah, like, so Subway Mark says Cliffs of Moher is beautiful. Yeah, like you've got some amazing variations in earth science and geology presented in that top 10. That's really cool.
Brylang says he's been to Old Faithful and logged the Earth cache.
Oh, well done.
I've been to Old Faithful and didn't log the Earth cache.
Was that before caching?
Yes.
Yeah. We know how that goes.
All right. Well, we have so much content here that we didn't get to. Do we want to rip through it, or do you want to save it and have another Earth cache episode someday?
Why don't we just quickly touch on the unfounds, and then
currently there are unfound Earth caches out there in the world.
So sad.
I know.
You friend, you can make a difference.
That's right. A lonely Earth cache.
For the price of a large Indian dinner per day, you can save an unfound Earth cache.
Of the unfound Earth caches in Washington State, there's only one. That's in Olympic National Park, Mount Olympus. So the Greek gods are guarding that one. Go check it out. GC8, I think it says X-ray 0 Hotel Kilo. But it was hidden in 2020. The year that never happened. No wonder it's not been found.
Nobody was allowed to go out there, and it just fell off everyone's radar. Yeah.
So yeah, one Earth cache in Washington State that's not been found.
That's a long time to go unfound, but it is up quite a trail. So it's at it looks like at either the summit or on the trail to the summit for Mount Olympus in Olympic National Park. So that would explain probably why it has remained unfound for that long. But there you go. There's a challenge, listeners.
Yeah.
We want you to tell us your story of going and finding that unfound Earth cache.
Record it and send it in.
Exactly.
Come on the show as a guest and talk about it.
There you go.
The entire journey, or better yet, come on the show as a guest. I like that idea, Wits End.
There you go. For my home area, the province of British Columbia, we have 4 Earth caches that are currently unfound. But a couple of them are pretty difficult to get to areas, which is why they're
Land Monkey, I don't believe you.
What?
I think if there's an unfound Earth cache, you would be driving to it this very moment.
There's at least 2 out of that 4 that I have drooled over somewhat, and then I wonder. But you do what you can do.
Okay. So, dear listener, what would motivate you to place? Do you say place or hide an Earth cache? I think you place an Earth cache.
I think you place because you're not hiding anything.
Mm-hmm. So what could you do to place an Earth cache? You know what? That would make a great upcoming episode of how to do it. Maybe we just get Nick on the episode and he'll tell you everything you need to know. And then you just go, refer to this episode of Caching in the Northwest and say, hey, just watch this and you'll get all the answers you need for this.
All the answers are in this episode. Yeah. Very good. Well, stuff to think about. Yeah, I think that could make a great future episode. And also having Nick would make a great future episode.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And listeners, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. We certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely do. And time for us to, again, take a moment to thank our corporate Denali level sponsors. Again, that is Landsharks, LANDSHARKZ.ca, the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember, they're shipping those online orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, 2 geo tours, 3 geo tours, one large geo tour that was expanded. So there's technically 2 geo tours. All right. Anyways, check out exploregoldcountry.com. Download the app. Plan your visit once the snow clears. Or, hey, if you like traveling in the snow and skiing and whatever else, then go now. But either way, thank you to our corporate Denali level sponsors. And folks, we want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters of this podcast. That includes Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism, of course. It also includes Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cachly, the geocaching app. Folks, if you want to know more about supporting this show, well, head on over and click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
Like Kitty Quest did.
And Flagman,
Peach of Washington,
M Nerve,
Wet Coaster,
The Camp Clan,
The Kid Vegas 19,
Ackerdoc,
Green Words,
Al Robrick,
BC Rock Crawler,
Nervous Energies,
Kev MacD,
B Pendragon,
You Talks to Rocks,
and Teus.
Geocaches.
Telling us all about his rail-based Earth cache experiences. It's Subway Burke.
And LG 9000.
And Boomer 365.
Reppin' the North 48. It's CRS 98.
Just finding our way.
GeoNav Pro.
Reppin' the good things to drink in Seattle. It's Wino Seattle.
Team Noltex.
J-Car.
Living in one of my favorite places in Washington, Whidbey Island gal.
Seabeck Tribe.
Doramore.
Limax.
Skyhawker.
Gas Station Tuna.
Currently in Australia, if I'm correct in my understanding, it's Ari 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Trek Zur.
UDAC.
Mountain bike.
Sege Hove.
Genies.
Logwork.
MC3 Cats.
GSM times 2.
Just Carlo.
And of course, the last but not the least, Korsgat.
Korsgat. I am the Korsgat.
Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about, and click a thumbs up, because you need to encourage us to do better shows. So if you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Give us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. And of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and ask a question, or find an unfound Earth cache any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night. It doesn't matter if it was 2023 in the past or 2024 now. We're here every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2024 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
the after show, but there's no FATAS. None.
Oh, there is now.
There you go. Remember to plan your geocaches for February 29th to get those 29 Feb add-on badges to badge Jen. I don't know who Jen is, but Jen likes her badges.
She does. Yeah, that's awesome.
Host an event.
Yeah.
Ooh. Brylink's taking the 29th off work. It's not like it counts anyway.
You haven't worked February 29th for 4 years.
There you go.
Why start now?
Why start now? Exactly.
And, next time it comes around, you can say it's been 8 years since I've worked
There you
February 29th.
Right.
Hey, folks, I want to throw it out there just in case you didn't know. I think it was last show I was sharing all these interesting facts I found out about caching in the Northwest. We have an IMDb page. I think that's really cool.
Do we?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
There
gotta
you
go
go.
check that out now. Also a reminder that if you do, Chris said it earlier, but if you do enjoy the podcast and you've had fun either interacting or, maybe just downloading it and listening to it while you're waiting for a bus or commuting your way to work.
Popping your head at a bus stop.
Hey, leave us a review on whatever system that you downloaded this from. It makes a huge difference for us. It's really important. If you're watching it on a YouTube video, please give it a thumbs up. If you found it in any way amusing, informing, or helpful, all of that stuff really makes a big difference for us. So I want to thank you for doing that.
Thank you so very much, all of you fine peoples. All right. And with that, I'm going to say, until next week, get out and get caching, even if it's snowing in the Northwest.